Hello everyone, welcome to the first ever Spar Kart movement guide. We're going to be making a ton of guides on how to play Spar Kart, so subscribe to the channel. And if you want to gain early access to the world's first ever racing fighting game, check out our website spar-kart.com. The link is down below and click request early access. This game is like a combination of a platform fighter mixed with like a casual racer, and I'm really excited to show you all how to move and how to play the game. So the first thing you've already seen, I'm already dash jumping. We'll get into the match. This is a waiting lobby if you're unfamiliar with the game, but you can see you can dash, you can jump, and to progress this little parkour in the lobby, you actually need to do a wall jump. Yes, there are double jumps in the game because of walls. You can also little turn on the spot like this. So let's go over all the inputs. There's so much more to the game, and I'm really excited to finally share what the movement is looking like for Spar Kart. I will say very quick, this game is in pre-alpha. It is super duper early access. We're building it with the community, so things will change. So again, subscribe to stay up to date if new guides or new movement guides come out, because this could be outdated very quickly. You can see the map looks terrible. It's very early development. There's a little sphere following me. Lots of questions, I get it. Let's get right into this. So the first thing is dash. And to dash on keyboard, it is your L input. On controller, it is the bumpers. And this is a full dash right here. And you can see you're actually turning a little bit while dashing. The idle has a little turn, so if I press left or right, even if I'm not driving, I can kind of turn a bit. Now there is driving and reversing, so if I press left shift, I'm driving forward. If I click C on keyboard, I am reversing. On controller, it is right trigger and left trigger. Drive, reverse, kind of like drive and brake when pressing real pedals in a car. So when you combine the two, you can drive, you can reverse, and you can also dash backwards while reversing. So there's some cool movement you can kind of do with that alone, and there's a lot more. One thing that's pretty cool, if you press drive and reverse at the same time, you enter, I call it the flip state internally, but it is a quick turn. So you can turn very quickly. I think this turn amount was reduced recently. This is the current Steam build. New updates every single week. So join the Discord, check out spar-kart.com to learn more and help us test the game if you get access. So you can quick turn, but we also have, just like other platform fighters, a jump. And if you combine a quick turn and a jump, you'll perform a fast fall if you press it mid-air. So if you jump and then press drive and reverse, you'll fast fall very quickly. And you can get you can make it more frame perfect, and you'll fall faster. Yeah, just like that. If you combine it with a trick, you can then fast fall in the air, and you saw that right there. And another cool thing, which I'm showing you, there's just so much stuff. So you saw the trick, you saw the fast fall. There's a drift. If you press jump, hold the turn button and hold the jump button. So you have to turn while holding the jump button. Pretty similar to the hops in Mario Kart, but it's a full jump this time, and you can drift. And there's, I think, technically 4 tiers of drift. You do see 5 colors. The first color, that yellow tier, doesn't give you a speed boost. It's just for visuals only to show that you're drifting. Every other color is a different drift boost, depending on how long you hold it for. And also, while you're drifting, you can charge it quicker using snake drifting. So if you tap left and right with about 6 frames in between the two, you can charge it. That way, it's not like if people spam it better on keyboard than controller, it doesn't actually keep going up. You have to wait 6 frames in between charging it more and more. So if you charge it once, 6 frames, charge it again, 6 frames, etc., etc. The game runs at 60 frames or 60 ticks per second, just like all other fighting games. So now that you know about drifting, you can then combine it with reversing to do a drift, cancel the momentum or something like that. A lot of cool stuff you can do there. Let's go into a bit more. We know that you can dash, but you also know you can jump. So just like other platform fighters, you can dash jump. That's pretty cool. Very cool way to approach your opponents, right? Especially when you combine a dash jump with a drift. I think that makes for some pretty awesome moments. But another cool thing is you can dash cancel. So if you hold the opposite direction when performing a dash, it's a shorter dash. So you can combine a dash jump with a dash jump cancel, and you can kind of fake people out. There's a little bit as well. If you jump and press left or right, there's a bit of air movement. You can see my character or cart is kind of wiggling around the air if I like tap it left and right, or if I hold left or hold right. It's a bit of movement. So if you combine that with a dash jump, you can do it like a dash jump holding back, but then you could also do a dash jump cancel, and it's this much shorter dash jump. And you could do it almost immediately, and it's like it's even shorter than a dash cancel. It really reduces how much you dash jump, and it's like a fake up. You could either approach or you can fake it out completely. There's a lot of ways to use movement to win neutral in Spar Kart. One other step, so if you can dash jump and like cancel it, what you can do is if you press the jump option when you dash in the air, you can do a dash cancel jump in the air, and it's like a dash cancel, but even quicker because you're exiting the first couple frames of dash because of that jump input. So again, yeah, look how little I'm like going. I haven't even described, you can air dash. Yeah, it's a normal dash in the air. You could just dash in the air because why not? But you can combine it with a dash cancel, and that's definitely shorter. But if you combine it with a dash cancel jump, it's even shorter, and you exit those frames quicker. It's a lot of buttons to press, but I think more movement is better than none, and I'd love to hear feedback, especially using this movement to win matches in Spar Kart. Another thing you can do is you can trick in the air by pressing the jump when half your kart is off a slope. So if I press that jump option, I'll perform that trick. It gives you a little speed boost, as well as a lot of vertical height for you to mix up landings against an opponent. So combine that with an air dash, and you can do some crazy stuff, or air dash cancels, and you could even like move left and right in the air, so you have complete control of how you land at all times. So one thing that's obviously very different from this game to a platform fighter is there's not multiple jumps. There's no double jumps. And we're worried that because this game is so like, there's so much driving and there's that extra axis of movement, we were worried that if we added a double jump, it would take up too much vertical space and become too difficult to hit opponents. But we like the idea of a double jump. That's why we added a wall jump. You can perform up to 3 wall jumps in succession even to literally stay in the air. Check this out. Yeah, pretty cool. And it's basically the same as a double jump, but you have to leverage level design to use it. And that way it also becomes choke points. If people want to use wall jumps in specific circumstances, you might predict your opponent's going to wall jump and then do an attack to catch that wall jump. We really are thinking about complex play from the ground up. And again, would love to hear your thoughts and see if people can use this tech in action while playing Spar Kart. Again, if you want to gain access, check out the link down below on our website, spar-kart.com. And then you could do some really cool movement where you can dash jump and then dash back to also fake people out. So you can completely go back to your original starting position, or you could do like dash jump cancels and then like go backwards. A lot of like cool things you can do in Spar Kart. So we added wall jumps, but we thought that they were pretty standard. They're pretty simple. You go into it, you go out of it. And we wanted to add a way to mix up wall jumps, so it's a little bit more interesting for people who are good at it. And we want to reward people improving at the game, and that's why we added wall jump cancels. If you press the jump and the dodge at the same time as performing a wall jump, you'll do a canceled version of the jump, which doesn't turn your kart around, and it also mixes up your movement completely because it doesn't turn your kart around. It's completely unique math, and it makes it really interesting where your opponent doesn't know if you're going to perform a normal wall jump or a wall jump cancel. It's a great mix-up, but it's high risk because you have to leverage the dodge button. And there is a spot dodge in the game. We don't have any directional air dodges or anything like that, like Smash Ultimate has. However, the dodge is on a 3-second timer. So if you misinput this wall jump cancel, you might dodge first by accident and then become stuck. And when you dodge, you can't stop driving. You have to maintain your driving movement. This game is really a combination of driving movement meets horizontal movement. It's a platform fighter meets a casual racer. And yeah, you can see some like really cool like fake outs I'm doing here, like those wall jump or that air dash cancel, it literally looks like you're like fighting in real life and you're like stutter stepping. There's some just really cool things you can do, and you have complete control, and it's up to you to practice to get better at this movement, to win neutral more consistently and become better at Spar Kart. And you can do all of this into these drifts. There's tons of options. And you could also dash while drifting, and that will perform like a drift dash. You can drift and then press that dash input and you'll get the drift boost, and then it will dash frame 1. And it's the same for an attack. This might be contingent on the input buffer holding your inputs when you press them. So you might want to customize that in your settings of how long you want the input buffer to hold. If you have 0 input buffer, it might drop the input because you're maintaining a drift at the same time. I recommend a buffer of at least 7, and that is currently what the default is. A really cool thing as well with these wall jumps, if you do a wall jump cancel while facing almost parallel to it, you'll do a complete turnaround of the kart. So it's a way to turn around instantly, even faster than the quick turnaround that we've talked about previously. But you can see it's definitely difficult for me to input this. So practice makes perfect, and there's tons of ways to perfect your movement in Spar Kart. There's 2 other mechanics that are difficult for me to showcase, but I'll gloss over them very quickly. There is a slipstream or drafting in technically all game modes, but you're really only going to see it mostly in a race game mode. If you drive behind someone who's driving in a straight line, you'll activate the slipstream, and that will give you a speed boost to catch up. We plan on making it easier, and I'll go over more of it in a future movement guide. The other mechanic is a chase dash. So if you press the dodge button after landing an attack, you'll perform a chase, and you have to be pressing drive or reverse while doing it. That will activate the chase, and it's a 1-second speed boost to extend combos. It was slightly inspired by Brawlhalla's chase dodge. However, this implementation does not give any iframe, so it is not a dodge, and it also lasts a full second. So it's not designed for quick combos. It's designed to chase after your opponent and continue combos. Especially when some attacks are going to hit people forward, you need to drive after them to extend the string. This has been the Spar Kart movement guide. We plan on updating this very frequently as more movement tech gets discovered and also implemented. This entire dash jump air dash cancel jump was discovered last week. It's been in the game for a while, but I didn't realize it until this last week. So there's plenty to discover. If you discover something, you can name it after, I wouldn't say yourself, but name it appropriately. And join the Discord. Check out spar-kart.com to learn how to gain access. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoy the game. Would love to hear your feedback down below and in the Discord. Subscribe. We'll see you guys all later. Peace.